All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Untitled Chapter. So in this video, I want to talk about the top three, in my opinion, bodybuilding comebacks at the Olympia, specifically Mr. Olympia winners that had not won the prior year, but were coming back to win another title. So naturally, this is a relevant discussion recently because Phil Heath recently lost the title and assumingly will be coming back to try to get that title back. So on this top three list, we're going to look at both bodybuilders that lost the Olympia title during their Olympia reign, and also bodybuilders that took a long hiatus from the Olympia to come back and win an Olympia title again. So coming in the number 3 spot, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger and the 1980 Mr. Olympia competition. So prior to the 1980 Mr. Olympia, the last Olympia appearance that Arnold made was the 1975 Mr. Olympia, making that a 5-year hiatus from the Olympia stage. And that is the impressive part about his comeback to win. Now, even though his win in 1980 was a very controversial win, it was still very impressive nonetheless because Arnold had been away for so long, filming movies in Hollywood and pursuing other things that weren't bodybuilding. And at that point in time, a 5-year hiatus from the Olympia stage was unheard of. There was no Mr. Olympias at that time that had left for 5 years and then came back to win. And then just 1 year later, it would happen again. And that brings me to the number 2 spot on this list. So the 1981 Mr. Olympia, another very controversial Mr. Olympia decision. This would be the year that Franco Columbu would come back. Now, Franco's last Olympia was in 1976, the primary reason why he was laid off of bodybuilding for so long. Now, while Franco's win was a controversial one, it still was impressive nonetheless because, like I said, that 5-year hiatus was something that had only been done by Arnold and was still very impressive at the time. So I think Franco and Arnold fit very well in the numbers 2 and 3 spots because the main speculation is that Phil Heath is going to wait until 2020 to make his Olympia comeback. So one of the bigger questions there is, can someone take a long amount of time off from the Olympia stage and still come back and be able to win? And we can look back to these examples of Franco and Arnold and say, yes, a 5-year hiatus, even an instance like that, you could come back and take the title again. Now, coming in the number 1 spot, I think, is the most impressive comeback on this list. Now, unlike Franco and Arnold, Cutler made a comeback to the Olympia stage after being defeated in 2008. So unlike Franco and Arnold, they weren't defeated during their Olympia reigns. They just decided to leave. So Cutler had won the 2006 and 2007 Mr. Olympias and was going for the win in 2008, where he was surprisingly defeated by Dexter Jackson. However, in 2009, when Cutler would come back to reclaim his title, not only did he come back and take his title back, but he came back in arguably the best shape of his life. In my opinion, one of the best packages that Cutler ever brought to the Olympia stage. That famous quad stomp photo, which everybody knows has been on the cover of all these magazines. And he won that Mr. Olympia definitively. In my opinion, like I said, the most impressive comeback in the history of bodybuilding. In my opinion, Cutler in 2009 was just hands down. A lot of people had wrote him off in 2008. He wasn't his best in 2008. And after that, a lot of people were kind of rooting for a new champion. When he came back, that tide really turned. And he got people behind him again. So I do think that's possible with a guy like Phil Heath. A lot of people are writing him off after this year. But I do think it's not impossible for him to come back, whether it be 2019 or 2020, and possibly turn his physique around. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What would be your favorite bodybuilding comeback in the history of bodybuilding? And do you think Phil Heath will be able to pull off a comeback similar to the comebacks mentioned in this video? Thank you guys for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.